Cal 00, the Georgetown General, Kip Moore. In the Imperial Hoist, Bullet Chassis Chem Oil 1J from Imperial, Mike Johnson. And starting last in the Cochrane #1 from Renfrew, the pilot tonight, Bob Waring Jr. 48, spring to field around, starter Greg Whitting with the green flag pointing to the sky. We want to see him side by side coming off the fourth turn, and we're underway. The Wolf's Head late models come up to pace. Things crowded as they race into the first corner. Johnny Johnson on the outside grabs the lead in car 48. Down the back straightaway, here comes Dennis Curry into 10, Petrucci into 5, and now on the T8. And it's Kugel and Rodney Phillips. Into 1, still Johnny Johnson, but now on the inside of the T8, and Curry on the outside in the 10. A three-car battle off at 2 down the back straightaway. Petrucci still 4th, Phillips is 5th, and it's Kugel. Waring moves into 7th in car 1C. Down on the bottom, it's Mark Bernal taking the lead in car T8, the Dillonville Dynamo. Dennis Curry continues to ride the rim in the number 10. He's up to 2nd now, dropping Johnny Johnson to 3rd. Rodney Phillips is 4th. Then it's Petrucci. Kugel and Waring gets hit on the left front, slides to the inside of the racetrack. And I believe avoided any serious contact, but the yellow is out. Larry Kugel in car 41 and Bob Waring Jr. But Al brings him back to green. 2 laps down. The Dillonville Dynamo continues to set the pace. Johnny Johnson trying to hold on to that 2nd spot in the 48. Dennis Curry to the inside in car 10. He makes the pass in turn 4. He's back to 2nd. Johnson 3rd, Petrucci 4th, Phillips 5th, and it's Johnson, Kugel, Miley, Moore, and Bittner. Larry Kugel looks like the right rear tire may be going flat in car 41. It's getting awfully low. Rod Phillips now in the 1P challenging the 5 of Mark Petrucci for 4th as they enter turn 3. Right behind them it's the 1J of Mike Johnson. Larry Kugel losing air pressure in the right rear of car 41. Still able to run it in there. Then Miley in the 99 on his inside, and behind him the 00 of Kip Moore. Well, there goes the right rear tire exploding on car 41 as he went into turn 3, but did not hit the wall. He kept her off the wall. Caution out. But now back to green again on the gas as they roll off at turn number 4. Johnny Johnson in car 48, Rod Phillips the 1P, Mike Johnson the 1J. They're running tight down the back chute. Positions 2, 3, and 4 up for grabs here. Rod Phillips giving it a strong run here in that Rocket Chassis 1P. He and Johnny Johnson side by side for 2nd. Mike Johnson still 4th, Ben Miley 5th, Kip Moore is 6th, Mark Petrucci 7th. Carl Bittner trails the field. Rodney Phillips and Johnny Johnson continue their side by side battle. 2 laps to go. The T8 of Mark Bernal, the mag shop, now Hewitt Racing Engines Bullet. A big lead here as he takes the white flag. Trying to get some good luck on his side. 3 wide almost for 2nd as they come off of 4. Johnson, Phillips, and Johnson. Miley, Moore, and Petrucci having their own battle. for the 5th spot. In 3 and 4, the Mag Shop Malcute Racing Engines T8 out of Dillonville, Ohio, taking the checkered flag in a Wolf's Head late model heat race, Mark Bedell. Second will go to Johnny Johnson. Rod Phillips third, Mike Johnson fourth, and the battle for 5th. Ben Miley in car 99 will finish 5th with Kip Moore 6th in the 00. In the Pit Mon Auto 3 from Pittsburgh, Richie Curry running with the Wolf's Head late models tonight as he's had a change of motor, getting his limited late model York Limited motor redone, and the motor he has in is bigger than the cubic inch limit for that class, so he's running with the Wolf's Head late models tonight. WUC 618 black Pontiac, your lights are on. Second heat race with the Wolf's Head late models ready to go. Bob Waring Sr. in the 35, Tom Copeland in the 10. Bring the field around. Green is out. Into 1, it's Waring, your leader. They're bunched up for second. Faree on the inside in car 4, looking quick on the bottom. He takes over second. Down the back straightaway, Copeland in the 10, Flinner the 11, Baker the 84. They do their battle into turn 3. Baker slides in hard on the bottom. Curry trying to come up through into 3. Bob Waring Sr., your leader. Ed Faree in car 4, down in on the inside, but look out, Ed, he got her sideways. He tries to steer out of it, he does. The green stays out for the time being, and now he slows down and comes to a stop. Caution out for car 4, Ed Faree. He'll turn it around. Bob Waring Sr. on the inside, Steve Baker on the outside, bring the field back to green. Ed Faree, who was running second, tails the field as we come back to full speed. 9 laps remaining, just 1 down. Into 1 they roll. Waring into 35, Baker to the outside in car 84. He likes to put it right up against the guardrail. Down the back straightaway, Steve Baker with a bold move into the lead. Waring second, Richie Curry, who usually runs with the York Limited Lates, running in the top 3 or 4 here as John Flinner gets by him off the 4th turn. Down the front straightaway. They're bunched up in the middle of the pack. Baker leading, Waring second, Flinner third. Then it's Nick Jones in the 9 fourth. Curry in the 3 runs 5th. Faree, Burgess, Bradish, and Copeland down the back chute. Faree starting to move back toward the front off the bottom in car 4. Steve Baker, the Phil Lucon Rev Fab, Burgettstown Auto Parts, Rocket Chassis, 84, your leader, with Bob Waring Sr. second and John Flinner third. Ed Faree out at the inside of Nick Jones in the 9. Waring, Flinner, Faree, and Jones completing your top 5 with 6 laps to go. Now John Flinner hooked up top in car 11, trying to get around Bob Waring Sr. for second. Look out. Close call into turn 3. Flinner's up to second. Faree tries to follow him to third. Off of turn 4 at the halfway point. Steve Baker still your leader. Flinner second. Faree, who trailed the field after that first lap caution, back to third. Waring has dropped to 4th in the 35. It's Jones in the 9, 5th. Bradish in the 5, 6th. Burgess in the 34 running 7th. Then Curry and Copeland. Ed Faree starting to put the heat on John Flinner for second. The front 3 cars, all Rocket chassis. Steve Baker's 84, John Flinner's 11, Ed Faree's 4. Cars spinning in turn 2, Nick Jones, who was running 5th. Caution for the 09 of Nick Jones. A whole lot more. Off the 4th turn, the green is back out. Steve Baker going to feel some heat as he heads into turn 1. Flinner on the outside in the 11. Faree continues his race on the inside in the 4, trying to make a charge from the back to the front. It's going to get interesting here over the final laps. Waring 4th, Bradish up to 5th, Burgess 6th in the 34. They're trying to stack him 3 wide for you, coming off of 4. Ed Faree down low, Baker up high, dead even going into 1. Steve Baker and John Flinner committed to the outside and Faree the inside. Coming around for 2 laps to go. We'll have 8 down this time by 2 to go. Baker way up high, right almost to the guardrail. And Faree continues to run the inside rail. Good battle, 2 to go. Lou Bradish to 4th now in car 5, dropping Bob Waring Sr. in the 35 to 5th. Baker seems to have the best of it in turns 1 and 2. Faree the faster car through 3 and 4. They're coming for the white flag this time. Flinner close to the wall in the 11th. 1 lap to go. Into 1. Steve Baker in car 84 and Ed Faree in the 4. Flinner 3rd, Bradish 4th, Waring 5th, Burgess is 6th. Then it's Jones and Curry. Baker up high, car a little bit of a push. Here comes Faree off the bottom for the checkered flag. It'll be Steve Baker. Faree 2nd, Flinner 3rd, Bradish 4th, and Waring 5th. Got a wide groove tonight, anywhere from top to bottom. They'll be putting them there for the feature, you can bet, for the Wolfson Late Model 20 Connections 10 from Hyde Park, Gary Lyle. In the Crawford Refrigeration 9C from Castle Shannon, Doug Crawford. In the W2, Wayne Gossett out of Cannonsburg. In the 24 from Bethel Park, Chuck Mowry. Matt Sherlock in the 15, your front row. Green is out for the York Limited Late Model. Matt Sherlock grabs the early lead. George Bland in the 50 running 2nd. Dunn in the 14 3rd. Then it's Kolesar in the 8. Lau in the 10. Your top 5 early on. Off the 4th turn, George Bland moves to the inside in car 50. He takes the lead. They head into turn 1. George Bland, your leader in car 50. Now Ed Dunn in the 14. Tries his hand on the inside, pressuring the 15 of Matt Sherlock for 2nd. Kolesar in the 8 is 4th. The 10 of Gary Lyle 5th. Off the 4th turn. George Bland still your leader. Ed Dunn in the 14. And the 2nd place advantage at the stripe. In turn 1 and 2, they continue that battle for 2nd. Dunn in the 14, Sherlock the 15. Sherlock back in 2nd that time by in car 15. He gets a bit of an advantage over Ed Dunn as they head down the back straightaway. Dunn in the 14 still 3rd. Kolesar in the 8 4th. Doug Crawford in the 9C is 5th and closing in. Gary Lyle 6th in the 10. Then it's Jim Paul in the 44. Chuck Mowry in the 24. And Wayne Gossett in the W2 trails the field. George Bland's opened up a half straightaway lead in car 50. That's a Masters-built chassis, a former Lynn Geisler late model that George purchased. He's been out now for about 6 weeks, getting better and better, looking for his first checkered flag in the York Limited Late Models. Car spinning, Russ Kolesar in the 8. Gets a piece of Gary Lyle in the 10. They're in turn 4. Caution is out for Russ Kolesar in car 8. Gary Lyle also with some steering problems in the 10 and maybe some brake problems as well. He might have had the brake line tore off. Out with 4 laps remaining in this York Limited Late Heat. Now George Bland's the leader. He starts the race. Off the fourth turn they come. No go, says Greg Wheeling. We got time. It was Matt Sherlock trying to get a head start that time. Won't flush with our flagman Greg Wheeling. In Knox. Green flag waves again. Off the fourth turn they come. George Bland to the 50, Matt Sherlock to 15. Bland had the lead, but not for long. He may end up third on this one. Sherlock takes the lead. Now Bland has his hands full trying to get second, and now he's trying to go back in front. Good battle here in the York Limited Late Models. Sherlock, your leader, running the top. Bland able to run a bit lower through the corners. He's making ground as they come off of turn 4. George Bland back in front. And there's a little contact into one. Good close wheel-to-wheel racing on Dirt's Monster half mile. Here comes Bland back another time. Into 3. Nobody's backing down. Ed Dunn in the 14 dives low, right behind him. Let's make it 3 wide. Nope. It'll be George Bland, your leader, Dunn to second, and Sherlock drops to third in car 15. Crawford in the 9C4. Jim Paul moves to fifth in car 44. George Bland still your leader in the McCandless Auto Parts number 50. By far his best run of the season. Ed Dunn in car 14, second-year pilot, running a strong second, final lap. Doug Crawford to third now on the 9. Sherlock in the 15 starting to fade. He's back to fourth. Trying to hold on there is Jim Paul in the 44. Underneath him in turn 2. Oh, Jim Paul spins in car 44 into the guardrail. We'll get a checkered flag. Car into the guardrail on the back straightaway, checkered out for George Bland. Dunn second, Crawford third, Sherlock fourth, and Colasar fifth. Jim Paul in car 44. Off the fourth turn, the green drops another time. Ron Myers takes the lead. He started on the pole in car 21. Jason Sisson in the 20. 16 is Eric Roberts. 26, Jim Burgess. Ed Murphy in the 0. Mike Johnson, the 1J. 12, Ken Manecki. In the 5, Rich Gasparovich. It's Ron Myers, your early leader. Eric Roberts in the 16, and Jason Sisson in the 20 runs second and third. Burgess in the 26, fourth, and it's Murphy in the 0 and Johnson the 1J. Here they come off of 4. Roberts to the inside. Still Ron Myers in car 20, your leader. Ron Myers out of Center Township in the Deems Photographs 21 shows the way. Eric Roberts in the Holiday Park Shop and Save, 16 in second. Jason Sisson out of Houston, Pennsylvania, in car 23rd. Mike Johnson in the Imperial Hoist Chem Oil 1J up to fourth now. Eddie Murphy in the Air Ground Express 0 runs fifth. Followed by the 26 of Jim Burgess. Race for the lead now in turn 3. Roberts to the inside. Dead even with Ron Myers as they enter turn 4 coming off the corner. Eric Roberts makes the pass. It's a bullet chassis for Eric Roberts, looking strong. Some new faces running real tough here tonight. George Bland in that last heat race. And Eric Roberts in car 16 in the second York Limited Late Model heat. Side by side for second. That's Jason Sisson now making the pass in the 20. Up into the second spot. Myers in the 21-30 has his hands full there as Mike Johnson starts to move off the fourth turn on the inside in the 1J. He's up to third now. Six laps complete, 6 down. Mike Johnson now to second in the 1J. Eric Roberts leading, Johnson second, Sisson third, Myers fourth, Murphy fifth in the 0, then it's Burgess sixth, Manecki seventh, Gasparovich eighth. 2 laps remaining, 2 to go. Mike Johnson closing in, but I don't know if he has enough time. Final lap. Eric Roberts still your leader. Johnson second. Off the fourth turn, this could very well be his first Pittsburgh checkered flag. York Limited Late Model Heat Race goes to Eric Roberts. Mike Johnson second. The 20 of Jason Sisson third. Ron Myers 21 fourth. And Ed Murphy in the Air Ground Express 0 completes the top 5. Little story, that Eric Roberts 16 car is the former D1 semi-late that John Flinner drove a couple of years back to all those feature wins. Sponsoring the racing program again here tonight, making it great in 93 at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Delicious Pizza Hut pizza available inside the checkered flag food courts. And kids, again, a reminder, keep all bikes parked. All bicycles parked. Bill Yakin off with the lead in car 10. The Jukes Body Shop, Cox Machine 10 shows the way. John Beatty second, Ricky Thomas third, the 11A of Charlie Dzezinski is fourth, Wayne Gaither fifth in car 44. Bill Yakin in the Jukes Body Shop, Cox Machine 10, hooked up on the top of the Speedway, continues to lead. The 04 of John Beatty second, 99 Ricky Thomas in third. Charlie Dzezinski's 11 fourth, Wayne Gaither still fifth, and Tom Sager and Jim Lepro completes the field. Ricky Thomas on the inside in car 99, pressuring John Beatty for second. Yakin's lead a half a straightaway. Bill a little loose that time, 2, 3, and 4. Had to back out of it for a moment. He's your leader at the halfway point, 5 down and 5 remain. Ricky Thomas again in car 99 to the inside of John Beatty for second. Down the back straightaway, tries to draw alongside but can't as they enter turn 3. Beatty runs the top in the Brighton Heights Automotive. McCandless Auto Parts 04, the L. Thomas Body Shop 99 of Thomas to the inside. 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 99 of Jasinski's 11A sits in fourth. Still fifth, the 44 of Wayne Gaither. And now leading by a full straightaway, the 10 of Bill Yakin. White flag, final lap. York Limited Late Model Heat Race number 3. Bill Yakin has drove away from the field in car 10. Picked up his 4th feature win last week and winning our 3rd heat race in the York Limited Lakes tonight. Bill Yakin. In the Jukes Body Shop, Cox Machine 10. Ricky Thomas, final turn, gets second in the 99. John Beatty in the 04 drops to third. The 11 of Charlie Jasinski fourth. And it'll be the 44 of Wayne Gaither rounding out the top 5. Konishevsky out of Coriopolis, and from Washington in the 7, Scott Staso. First of 2 heat races for the spectator stocks. Into the 4th turn. Starter Greg Wheeling says no go. So we'll try it again. The yellow is out. We'll try it again. Off the 4th turn, the green is out this time. Even Steven start down the front straightaway. And the Cochran West, prestigious Homes 1 of Jim Zarin jumps into the lead. Bob Heim in the 92 second. Rick Wachter's 93X third, and here comes Wee Willie White charging in the 55. Tom Baldy's 37 fifth. Wachter to the inside of the 93X. Down the front chute, it's still Zarin, Heim, Wachter, White, Broniszewski to 5th in car 10. Got 3 cars running 3 crews. The top, the middle, and the bottom. Out in front. Single file out on the back straightaway as they use the draft to enter turn 3. The car almost spinning. Is he going to spin? Yes. Mike Ross around catches just a piece of Russ Matika. Russ keeps it going. And Mike sitting in the 4th turn. Yellow is out. Yellow out for the 91 of Mike Ross. World Championship. The who's who of dirt late model racing will be here. Jim Zarin on the inside for the restart. Brings the field off the 4th turn. Green back out. And down the front straightaway, they roll into turn 1. About the same way they did on the initial start to the race. Zarin grabs the advantage. Wachter again tries the inside of the 93. Broniszewski dives low in the 10. He's alongside the 55 of Wee Willie White. This is going to be a good one. You got Andy Catsellas working his way toward the front in car 64. A lot of strong running cars in this first spectator stock heat race. Off of 4, still Jim Zarin. Rick Wachter 2nd. Bob Heim 3rd. White 4th. Broniszewski 5th into turn 1. Broniszewski in the 10 sideways, 360 degrees worth. Keeps her going. Still Jim Zarin, that Monty, that Chevelle. The Cochran West Palea Oil prestigious Homes 1. The W.R. Min & Sons Custom Homes, 93X of Rick Wachter 2nd. Andy Catsellas in the 64, and Wee Willie White now door-to-door for 3rd. Here comes Bob Heim back in the 92. Wachter continues to try the inside of the 93X. Zarin's on the outside of the 1C. 3 laps to go. laps to go. Still Jim Zarin over Rick Wachter. Willie White third. Catellus fourth. Heim fifth. And Bali sixth. Two Coriopolis pilots running first and second. White flag. Zarin still with the lead. Wachter second. White in the 55 third. Catellus in the 64 fourth. Heim in the 92 fifth. And Baldy sixth. It's been a good race from the start. Zarin now opens up about a 3-car length advantage. They enter turn 3. Coming for the checkered flag. Off the fourth turn, the drag race is on. It's Jim Zarin, your winner. Rick Wachter second. Andy Catellus gets third on the final lap. Willie White fourth, and Tom Baldy in the 37 will come home fifth. With the last lap pass of Bob Heim. Again, those 50-50 tickets for Children's Hospital on sale down in front of the main. The Chuck Gratz Enterprises 4 from Bethel Park, Bill Slade. In the Peters Township Auto Supply, Bud Bear Pontiac Buick 16. John Pontiac from Pittsburgh. And the ready to go with our second spectator stock heat race. Off the fourth turn, the green is out. Into turn 1. Ralph Highsong in the 09, Danny Rich in the 67, side by side for the lead off the second turn. Down the back straightaway, the 11 of Pete Loria makes it a 3-car battle into turn 3. Loria going from third to first. If he can hold on. Pete Loria is your leader. '09 Ralph Highsong second, Danny Rich in the 67 third. Pete Loria is still your leader, but up high in turn 4. In the Tony Dale BP Auto Trader 11. Ralph Highsong Jr. in the 09 second. Ron Patchins 51 still third. John Pontiac in the 16 takes over fourth now. Bill Slade in car 4 fifth. And it's Danny Rich in the 67. Andy Diamond in the 15. Jim Stevens 38. Rob Damron in the 12. Dwayne Getty slowing down in car 7 at the exit to the back straightaway. Halfway, 4 laps remaining. Dwayne Getty off the pace here in car 7. And Dwayne's going to bring out the caution. Green flag is out. 4 laps to go. Pete Loria, your leader in car 11. Andy Diamond in the 15 putting down a lot of liquid on the Speedway. He slows down. Pete Loria, your leader. Ralph Highsong second. Pontiac in the 16 has moved to third. O'Patchen in the 51 fourth. Bill Slade in car 4 fifth. And it's Danny Rich, Jim Stevens, and Rob Damron and Stuff Shadowski having their race at the back of the pack. Pontiac in the 16, the man on the move. He takes over second. Pete Loria continues to set the pace in car number 11. 2 laps to the checkered, 2 to go. Poningvar will move to the inside in car 16. Loria way up high in the 11. Coming off the fourth turn. John Poningvar takes over the lead and shuts the door on the outside. Final lap. Into turn 2, Poningvar in the 16. Loria in the 11 back underneath him. Coming for the checkered flag. Pete Loria with the lead back in turn 3. If he can hold on, he goes high. Poningvar tries to come underneath, down the front straightaway to the checkered flag. Pete Loria gets the win. Poningvar second, Opachin third, Highsong fourth, and Bill Slate fifth. Good battle there. The spectator stocks put on a good show. Off the fourth turn, the green is out. Dave McManus grabs the early lead in car 17. Jim Dandy Jr. in the 19 and Swingin' Sammy Style in the 75, running second and third. Darren Miller in the 16 fourth. Dale Charlier in the 11 fifth. Jim Dandy Jr. and his Chrysler-powered 19 tries to take the lead away from Dave McManus. McManus looking better and better. Only the third time he's been out in this car. The 17. Jim Dandy Jr. continues to lead. Dave McManus in the 17 up high, running second. Swinging Sam Style in the 75 on the inside. Trying to take over that runner-up spot as they come down the front straightaway. Pretty close call that time going into turn 1. Darren Miller in the 16, the 37 of Chris Dixon, having their own battle for third or fourth. Swinging Sam moves to second in car 75. Does anybody have anything for the man in front? Mr. Mopar, Jim Dandy Jr. with 4 laps to go, halfway. Three laps to go. Chris Dixon up to fourth in car 37. He's working the bottom, pressuring the 17 of McManus for third now. In turn 2. Down the back straightaway. 17 McManus, 37 Chris Dixon. The white and the checkered out for Jim Dandy Jr. White flag for your leader, Jim Dandy Jr. out of Niles, Ohio. Swinging Sam Stiles second. Chris Dixon third. Dave McManus in the 17 fourth. And Darren Miller 16 fifth. Charlier in the 11 running sixth. In the Marsh Auto Salvage Outlaw Chassis 19, powered by Chrysler, Jim Dandy Jr. takes the win. Sammy Sal in the 75 second. Chris Dixon's 37 third. Darren Miller in the 16 fourth. And the 17 of Dave McManus completes the top 5. Dale. Final heat race. Off the fourth turn. Under power. The green is out. Jimmy Plants into the lead as they head into turn 1 in car 40. Mark Obrzezinski in the 61, though, quickly by him. And look at Kurt Habadell. He started 6th, And just as Jim Dandy Jr. did in the last race, storms to the front in car 75, the Kodak Gold 75. He and Jim Dandy Jr. have been the dominant cars all season. But Arbuzinski back underneath them in turn 4 down the front straightaway. Giving them a good battle as they hit into turn 1. Bernie Potanowick in the 36 moves up to 3rd. Plants drops to 4th. Don Luffy in the 42 down low. Trying to take 4th away from Jimmy Plants. Mark Arbuzinski continues to work well on the inside in car 61, not letting Kurt Havedale get away in the Kodak Gold 75. Bernie Potanowick in the 36, 3rd. Jimmy Plants in the 44th, Luffy in the 42, 5th, and Sheriff in the 88 trails the field. Arbuzinski close to the wall coming off the 4th turn. He'll lose many spots. He'll end up 4th after that brush with the wall. Dave Sheriff in the 88 spinning in turn 4. Caution is out. Caution on the Speedway for car 88 Dave Sheriff, who gets it turned back around. Off the 4th turn, Kurt Havedale brings them back to the green. Bernie Potanowick on his tail in the 36. Potanowick heads to the outside for a moment. Wolf's Head late models rolling into the staging area for their feature event. Halfway, 4 down and 4 to go. Mark Arbuzinski back up into 3rd in car 61 after almost catching the wall a few laps back and dropping back a ways. Kodak Gold 75, Imperial Chassis stretching the lead. Kurt Havedale. 2 laps to go, 2 to go. Mark Arbuzinski almost spins again, this time in turn 2 in the 61, trying to get back to speed, but it's slowing down now. About to come to a stop, it appears. Caution out for the 61 of Mark Arbuzinski. He got close to losing it in turn 4. 2 laps remaining in our final heat race for the unmodifieds. Features are next. Wolf's Head late model feature next. Kurt Havedale once again your leader. Another car spinning. This time it's Don Luffy, the Hooker Hornet. Yellow out. The Kane Corporation 42 of Don Luffy. The speed again. Two laps to the finish. The yellow cars 1 and 2. Kurt Havedale 75 and Bernie Potanowick in a 36. Dave Sheriff 3rd now in car 88. Jimmy Plants in the 40. Mark Arbuzinski in the 61 and Luffy in the 42 make contact. Luffy spins again. Right to the pit entrance on the back chute. Caution on the Speedway for the 42 of Don Luffy. Green back out. Kurt Havedale still your leader, but Bernie Potanowick in the 36 keeping up the chase. Kurt Havedale has a slow leak, we're told, in the right rear tire. The 75 looks to be going flat here. 1 lap to go. The Kodak Gold 75 and the Melvin's Transmissions 36. Havedale and Potanowick heading for the checkered flag. Dave Sheriff in the 88 3rd. Trying to hold off the 61 of Mark Obrzezinski here on the final lap. Checkered flag is waving for Kurt Habertail. Patanowicz second. Obrzezinski will take third. Sheriff fourth. And Jimmy Plants rounding out your top five. In car number 3 from Dormont to Pittman on 03, Richie Curry. Nick Jones pitting already in the auction barn 09. Nick Jones dropping out already in the 09. As the Kessler crew runs to his attention. Winner in the 11. Rodney Phillips, the 1P. Bring the field around for the green flag. Off the fourth turn, on the hammer, and the green is out. It's Flinner grabbing the early lead. Faree in the 4 up to second. Then Phillips and Benal, Johnson and Baker, Bradish and Johnson as they enter turn 3 and 4 side by side. Off of 4, Ed Faree down low takes the lead. Flinner second, Benal third, Phillips fourth, Baker moves to fifth in car 84. Mark Benal now in the T8 challenging John Flinner for second in turn 3. Ed Faree in the Faree Pontiac Chevy Buick Franklin Racing Supply 4-year leader. Benal second, Flinner third, Phillips fourth, and Baker now on the outside in the 84 trying to take a fourth spot in turn 1 near 3 wide. Mike Johnson and Steve Baker both move. Baker to fourth, Johnson to fifth. Phillips drops to sixth. Johnny Johnson seventh, Bradish eighth. Bob Waring Sr. ninth. Bobby Burgess and Kip Moore race for 10th. Mark Benal to the outside now, trying to take the lead away from Ed Faree. Off at 2 down the back straightaway. It's Faree pressured by Benal. Flinner third, Baker fourth, Johnson fifth. 4 laps complete, 4 down. Car into the wall in turn 4. Larry Kugel in car 41 into the wall in the 4th turn. And the yellow is out. Baker fourth. Mike Johnson in the 1J fifth. Back to green. Coming at you off the 4th turn, it's Ed Faree. Benal, Baker, and Flinner. Johnson 5th. His uncle Johnny Johnson 6th. It's still Ed Faree to the inside, but out of the outside, running first and second. Baker to third now in the 84. Mike Johnson's 1J to fourth. Then it's Flinner and Johnny Johnson, wheel to wheel for fifth. Bradish running seventh. Bob Waring Sr. 8th. Rodney Phillips, Kip Moore, Bob Waring Jr. and Dennis Curry all bunched together in turns 3 and 4. It's still Ed Faree. 7 laps down. Benal second. Baker third. Flinner back to fourth now. Mike Johnson fifth. Lou Bradish has moved to sixth. Johnny Johnson seventh. Bob Waring Sr. running 8th. Kip Moore 9th. Dennis Curry 10th. Bob Waring Jr. is 11th. Car in turn 2. We got cars spinning in turn 2. The auction barn 09 of Nick Jones and the 99 of Ben Miley. The auction barn past the gate at the end of the back straightaway. In car number 4, Mark Benal, the T8 lines up second. Faree holds him in this time. Now he goes, and the green is out. The Wolf's Head late models return to action with 18 laps to go. It's Benal, your leader this time. He had the best of it in turns 1 and 2 on the outside. Faree will try to work the bottom again through 3 and 4. That's been his fast point all night. Off of 4, it's Benal. Faree second. Baker third. Johnson fourth. Bradish is fifth. Mark Banal, the Dillon Bell Dynamo, and the Mag Shop Malcuit Racing Engines T8 taking advantage of the restart on the outside to get the momentum and the lead. Now the question is, can he hold off the four of Ed Faree? Baker third. Bradish has moved to fourth and to five. Johnson's 1J fifth. Dennis Curry up to sixth in car 10. Flinner runs seventh. Johnny Johnson 8th. Bob Waring Jr. in the 1C, and Bob Waring Sr. in the 35 right behind him. 15 laps to go. 10 are down. 10 down. Mark Banal and Ed Faree pull away from the field. The race is for third. 84, Steve Baker in the 5 of Lou Bradish. Wheel to wheel through 3 and 4. Dennis Curry in car 10 on the outside now to fifth around the 1J of Mike Johnson. Here comes Faree to the inside in turn 4. Alongside of Mark Banal, not yet. It's still Banal, but it's getting closer. And the race for third continues between Bradish in the 5 and Baker in the 84. Curry in the 10 runs 5th. Johnson 6th. Bob Waring Jr. to 7th now in the 1C. Here comes Ed Faree back to the bottom off the 4th turn, side by side, close at the stripe as they head into 1. Halfway. Banal able to open up some daylight in 1 and 2. But the Faree car, the 4 car, is much quicker through 3 and 4. Caution is out for the 9, the Auction Barn 09 of Nick Jones. Jeff. Banal likes to start outside. When he goes, the green drops. He goes, the green is out. Faree alongside as they come off the 4th turn. Down the front straightaway, it's Banal, Faree, Bradish, Baker. Johnson, Flinner, and Waring heading into turn 1. Baker gets high in the 84, now Mike Johnson in the 1J. Underneath him trying to take 4th, and Bradish joins the race for the lead as they exit turn 4. It's Ed Faree in front this time by. But Banal gets back around him in turn 1. Down the back straightaway, now the 5 of Lou Bradish alongside of Faree for second. Here they come through 3 and 4. Banal will have the lead back at lap 15, 10 to go. Banal, Faree, Bradish, Baker, Johnson, and that's Waring and Flinner, wheel to wheel. Another spin in turn 2. Car spinning in turn 2. The yellow is out for the 3 of Rich Curry. Been a lot of charging going on. Bob Waring Jr. started way back there. He's now 6th in the 1C. Driver improves the most from start to finish. Will pick up a case of Woolshead. The green is back out. Off the 4th turn, the Woolshead late models with 10 laps to the finish. Coming at you down the front straightaway. Banal, Faree, Bradish, Waring now, and Baker. As they hook up off the 2 down the back straightaway, Banal opens up some daylight in the T8. Baker in the 84 moves back to 4th, Waring in the 1C 5th. The Georgetown General Kip Moore has moved up to 6th, Mike Johnson 7th, Bobby Burgess 8th, John Flinner 9th, Johnny Johnson in car 48 runs 10th. Look at Stevie Baker on the outside of the Speedway in turn 4. Another car spinning, it's Kip Moore, the 00. Moore does a 360-degree spin, and he's got a flat left rear tire. The Georgetown General with a flat left rear tire in car 00, pulling to the pits. It's Banal and Faree. Baker, Bradish, and Waring. Johnson 6th, Burgess 7th, Flinner 8th, Johnson 9th, and Waring Sr. running 10th in car 35. Mark Banal continues to lead over Ed Faree. Baker high that time in 3, and Bradish right up close to him. They race for 3rd. Johnny Johnson in car 48 around the 11 of John Flinner, that time down the front straightaway. And Flinner now spinning the car in turn 2. John Flinner spins at 360 degrees in turn 2. He gets it back on, and the green stays out. 5 laps to go. Ed Faree starting to close in again on race leader Mark Banal. Ed Faree closing in on Mark Banal as they enter the turn. But coming off, it seems to be Banal with the upper hand. 4 laps to go. Baker 3rd, Bradish 4th, and Waring runs 5th. Johnson is 6th. Burgess 7th, Johnny Johnson in car 48 8th, Bob Waring Sr. in 35 9th, and Rodney Phillips in the 1P runs 10th. Faree again closing in as they enter the corner. Lap 22, we've got 3 to go. Off of turn 2, it's still Banal, opening up a 3-car length lead down the back straightaway. Bob Waring Jr. in the 1C now, pressuring the 5 of Lou Bradish for 4th. Faree starting to make a charge as they come off of 4, 2 to go. Down the back straightaway, it's still Mark Banal by 3 car lengths, maybe 4 as they race into turn 3. Coming for the white flag, Faree able to get through 3 and 4 much better. 1 lap to go. Baker still 3rd, Bradish 4th, and Waring 5th. Johnson 6th. Car slowing into the pits, Tom Copeland. Burgess 7th, Johnny Johnson 8th. Bob Waring Sr. 9th, and Rodney Phillips 10th. Faree makes one last charge. He almost is alongside through 3 and 4. Coming off the 4th turn for the checkered flag. They're close, it's Banal. Faree 2nd. Baker 3rd. Bradish and Waring close for 4th and 5th. Ed Faree gave it one last shot through turns 3 and 4. Got up alongside the left rear quarter panel of Mark Banal. Lou Bradish in car 5 will get 4th with Bob. That puts him 6th on the all-time list of career feature wins. He trails Lynn Geisler, Ben Miley, Ty Long and Davey Johnson, Roy Miller, and then it's Mark Banal. Hands together as he climbs out of the cockpit from Dillonville, Ohio, your Wolfset late model feature winner, Mark Banal. Your top 5, Mark Banal. Second to Banal was Ed Faree, Steve Baker in the 84th, 3rd, the 5 of Lou Bradish 4th, the 1C of Lynn Geisler 5th, the 1J of Mike Johnson 6th. Bob Burgess in the 34 comes from the back after the caution there in the midway point to 7th, 48 Johnny Johnson 8th, Bob Waring Sr. in the 35 9th, and the 1P of Rod Phillips completes the top 10. Bob Waring Jr. is your Wolf's Head hard charger. Starting 20th and finishing 5th, Bob Waring Jr. in the 1C is our Wolf's Head hard charger. He'll pick up a case of Wolf's Head from Monarch Oil, Western PA's largest distributor of Wolf's Head. We're also going to get your 50-50 tickets out. We've got the winning number here. Let's go to Don Gamble. Don, you got the 50-50 number for us?
Yes, we do. Ted, how much money?
$401.
Okay, Mike, read the lucky number.
971857. 971857.
Made somebody real happy. Maybe they'll get down and have a pizza later.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
If you have that number, head down to the Speedway office, 971-857, worth $401. And again, we thank you for your generous support to Children's Hospital. They also pick up another $401. We've raised more than $4,400 for Children's Hospital this year. Let's go back to Don Gamble with our feature winner.
Mark, it's been almost a year since you were in victory lane. Obviously a popular win. The crowd loved it. Some of your thoughts. Ed Free was knocking on the door.
Yeah, Ed, he was running a real good race there. I thought he was going to lead all the way there. I got a little loose there early, and then the car seemed to pick back up, and I was able to get out front there and hold him off.
You're always fast, always in the front, but you've had a lot of tough luck. Flat tire, tie rod, bump the wall, whatever. Looks like Lady Luck turned around. She's riding with you tonight.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this interview for a long time, Don, and I'm glad I got it tonight.
You have 11 career wins. You're 6th on the all-time win list here in the late models, and that's a pretty prestigious group of guys. You got to be proud of that.
Yeah, you know, these guys here were always real competitive, and I hope I can make it to the 5th place feature winner here.
And we don't want to wait a year. I'll settle for a couple of weeks. How's that sound?
How about next week?
Next week. Congratulations on a nice job.
Thank you, Don.
Dow, back to you.
In the Club Europa Green Tree Auto Body, Vincent's Pizza 14 from Beaver, Ed Dunn. In the Jooks Body Shop, Cox Machine 10, Bill Yakin. In front of him, though, we've got the Holiday Park Shop and Save of 16 of Eric Roberts moving into position. In the McCandless Auto Parts 50, from Paul from Whitehall, the 99 of Tom Sigger. In the Ken's Texaco 12 from Oakdale, Ken Manecki. In the J&N Video Connections 10 from Hyde Park, Gary Lau. From Cannonsburg, the W2 of Wayne Gossett. And in the red number 5, the Gasparovich Plumbing and Heating 5 from Kennedy Township is Rich Gasparovich. Brzezinski in the 11. The 21 of Ron Myers paced the field. We are to green. Underway. It's Jasinski, your early leader. Matt Sherlock in the 15 quickly moves into second. Jason Sisson in the 20 runs third. Then it's Ron Myers in the 21. Beatty in the 04 fifth. Early on here, they're picking their way through turns 3 and 4. Double up. Charlie Jasinski, your leader, up against the wall in the 11A. Your leader in the 11A against the wall in turn 2. He brings it down. The green stays out. Green stays out. But he's got to have problems because he rode it for a long way trying to get the car to the pits. Look out on the back straightaway. Jasinski now stops the race car right at the exit of the back straightaway. And the yellow is out.
The lower ball joint, he's trying to fix it, but I don't think they're going to get it done in time.
Thank you, Don. Ready to go back to green 2 laps down in this York Limited Late Model Feature event. Matt Sherlock in the 15 on the outside of row 1. Will bring the field back to green. He's on the gas, and we're back underway. Sherlock leading. Jason Sisson in the 20 car second. Then it's Doug Crawford, the 9C, taking over third. Beatty in the 04 fourth. Ricky Thomas, the 99 fifth. Mike Johnson, 6th in the 1J. They're all trying to charge their way to the front. Off of 4. Jason Sisson down low in car 20, taking the lead as they hit into turn 1. But on the outside, Matt Sherlock in the 15 has the momentum up, and he gains the lead back off of 2. Sisson in the 22nd now. Crawford the 9C third. Thomas fourth in the 99. Cars together in turn 2. Yellow flag. It looks like the 12 car of Ken Manecki and the W2 of Wayne Gossett. 12 Ken Manecki. Off the 4th turn. Green is out. And Now the yellow is out. Yellow is out. The cars together on the inside of the first turn. Cars together. Three laps down, 17 to go. York Limited Late Models back underway. Jason Sisson having his best run in car 20, leading early on here. Matt Sherlock in the 15th second, Ricky Thomas third, Doug Crawford fourth, Mike Johnson's 1J runs fifth. Down the back chute, Jason Sisson in car 20. Jason Sisson is your leader with Matt Sherlock second. Ricky Thomas third down. Mike Johnson in the 1J moving into fourth. Crawford in the 9-seater won't give up the spot easy. Battles back on the outside. Down the back straightaway. Johnson in the 1J. Crawford in the 9-seat running hard for fourth. And it's Matt Sherlock taking over the lead in car 15, and now Johnson has his sights on third as he gets by Ricky Thomas. Going into one, on the bottom. Thomas, though, on the outside, gives him a run down the back straightaway. Into turn 3, Ricky Thomas up top. Jason Sisson in the 20, and Mike Johnson the 1J to the inside as they run for second, third, and fourth. It's still Matt Sherlock showing the way. Ricky Thomas in car 99 moves to second. Sisson in the 23rd. Johnson's 1J fourth. Crawford's 9C fifth. Beatty is sixth in the 04. Dunn seventh. Yakin eighth. Burgess ninth. And Myers runs 10th. 8 laps are down. 12 remaining. Mike Johnson to the outside of the 1J, moving to third, around the 20 of Jason Sisson. Ricky Thomas now to the inside of Matt Sherlock as they battle for the lead. Thomas in the 99 to the inside of the 15 of Matt Sherlock. Doug Crawford the 9C moving up to fourth. Sisson drops to fifth in car 20. Matt Sherlock also having one of his better runs of the year in car 15. Your leader takes him into 3 and 4 up top. Here comes Thomas again down low. Side by side off of 4. The momentum on the outside carries Matt Sherlock into the lead in turn 1. 1 and 2 again seem to be faster on the outside. 3 and 4 quicker on the bottom. Thomas now has Mike Johnson right behind him. 3 cars battling for the top spot with 9 laps to go. 9 to go. Matt Sherlock in the 15, the 99 of Ricky Thomas, and the 1J of Mike Johnson. Johnson goes into the inside in the 1J. Thomas is in the middle. Sherlock's up high. 3 wide off of turn 4. It's still Sherlock, Thomas, and Johnson. Crawford fourth. Beatty has taken over fifth now in the 0-4. Mike Johnson to the outside of Ricky Thomas. Off of 2 down the back straightaway. Side by side for second. Lap traffic could play a role here. They come upon the W2 of Wayne Gaither. Off the 4th turn. It's still Matt Sherlock, Ricky Thomas, and Mike Johnson. Doug Crawford to 9C 4th, John Beatty 5th in the 04. Sisson is 6th, Yakin 7th, Dunn 8th. Burgess running 9th. Eddie Murphy and Ron Myers battle for 10th. Your front 3 stay the same. And again, they're going to get 3 wide in turn 4. Coming off the 4th turn for the lead. It's Sherlock, Thomas, and Johnson. In the 1, Sherlock up top. The 15 out in front by 3 or 4 car lengths now down the back straightaway. Ricky Thomas again runs the middle, and Mike Johnson the bottom. 99 and 1J. Lap after lap, it's been the same story here the past 3 or 4 laps. 14 laps down, 6 remaining. Matt Sherlock driving the wheels off car 15. The Repco Auto Parts. 15 still your leader, but here comes Ricky Thomas to the inside. Thomas with the advantage. He had the lead at the flag stand that time. In turn 1, though, Sherlock back on the outside. They're side by side in turn 2. Down the back straightaway, Ricky Thomas with the lead. Sherlock second. Gary Lau pitting in car 10, and as is the 44 of Wayne Gaither. We got a new leader. It's Ricky Thomas. And Mike Johnson now trying to take second away from the 15 of Matt Sherlock. Doug Crawford's 9C trying to make it a 4-car race as he closes in on the front trio. John Beatty's 04 still fifth. They're wheel to wheel for second with Ricky Thomas showing the way. Car spinning in turn 4. George Blandon, car 50, spinning in front of your race leaders. The yellow is out. Everybody gets by. Can start it at any point. He's back to the full throttle. The green is out as they exit turn number 4. Off the 4th turn, Thomas and Johnson wheel to wheel with now Doug Crawford, the 9C, trying to make it 3 cars wide. Sherlock back to 4th in the 15. Johnson a little loose through 1 and 2, trying to hold off Crawford for second down the back straightaway. Bill Yakin in car 10 makes a bold move on the outside into the top 5. It's showtime in the York Limited Late Models. 2 laps to the finish. 2 to go. Ricky Thomas pulling away. The L. Thomas Body Shop, 99. Running right in the middle of the racetrack. Down the back chute. Mike Johnson second. Doug Crawford third. Matt Sherlock fourth. Bill Yakin fifth in car 10. Burgess up to 6th and then 26. Sisson 7th. Dunn and Beatty right behind him. They're all bunched together in the middle of the pack. White flag, and Mike Johnson is closing in. Ricky Thomas's lead down to about 3 car lengths, maybe 2 as they exit turn 2 down the back straightaway. Coming for the black and white. 2 of the young hot shoes in the York Limited Late Model Division. Ricky Thomas and Mike Johnson off of turn 4. It'll be the L. Thomas Body Shop 99 of Ricky Thomas, the winner. Mike Johnson second, Doug Crawford third, Matt Sherlock fourth, and Bill Yakin fifth. They'll head to the Coors Extra Gold Weigh-In Center to make it all official. Ricky Thomas third in the point standings coming into tonight, trying to pick up some ground. Mike Johnson, your point leader, finishes second. It's Thomas, the unofficial winner. Chuck Mowry's our hard charger. Excuse me, Jimmy Burgess in car 26, the hard charger, started in the 16th spot and finished 6th, improving 10 places. Jimmy Burgess in car 26 will pick up a case of Wolf's Head from Monarch Oil. Put your hands together for your York Limited Late Model feature winner, Ricky Thomas. Bob Waring Jr. winning the Monarch Oil Wolf's Head Hard Charger Award in the Wolf's Head Late Models. Let's go trackside to Don Gamble.
Don, we got a special treat here. We're going to Ricky's mom. It's only the 2nd time she's ever been to the races with Ricky driving. What a nice night.
Wonderful night. I congratulate all these mothers that go through this. This is really something.
Now, obviously, when Dick was racing, you were there more than twice. When did you retire as a fan?
When my son started driving, I just can't handle my son out there.
You get nervous.
I'm scared to death.
You should be very proud of him, and I think you ought to go over and get your picture taken.
Okay, thank you.
Mom said she was nervous, but he looked like he had everything under control. odds again. You know, there was they were double guessing you here on when you picked the outside line on that last restart, but obviously you knew what was working.
I tell you what, Don, that high line, it was just working smooth for me. I don't know if the car was working good. We came in, we got a second in the heat, changed a couple things around. Got to thank my crew and everybody. They made the car run. I just picked that high line. That was the only line out there, Don.
Did you realize that you guys were running 3 abreast?
No, I didn't, Don, tell you the truth. All I was worried about was getting through there.
People were going crazy. You know, you and Sherlock and Johnson running 3 wide. You did a super job. Your mom was here to see it. Nice night. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Don. There's one more thing I want to say. All my fans, one of my buddies got married tonight. Dean and Amy Lasego. I want to wish them the best of luck. This one was for them.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Don. Don?
All right, Don, thank you. Congratulations, Ricky Thomas, his 4th win of the season. Top 10, Ricky and 16, John Pontickvar rode 264, Andy Catellus in 55, Wee Willie White in the 3rd row, Ralph Highsong the 09, 37, Tom Baldy row 4, then the 4 Bill Slade, the 92 of Bob Heim, 38 Jim Stevens, and the 51 of Ron O'Patchin, 91 Mike Ross, and 67X Danny Rich, Russ Matika in the 17M, lines up beside the 12 of Rob Damron. Off the 4-turn spectator stock feature underway. Drag race into turn 1 is won by the 1C of Jim Zarin. Followed tightly by the 11 of Pete Laurier, Rick Walker's 93X 3rd, Andy Catellus in the 64 and 16, John Pontickvar 4th and 5th. All bunched up through 3 and 4. Jim Zarin, your leader, for lap 1. Pete Laurier is 2nd, and Rick Wachter making tracks on the inside in car 93X. 64, Andy Catellus up to 4th. Wee Willie White in the 55, the 16 of John Pontickvar having their race for 5th. The whole way back through the pack, they're bunched up, side by side, wheeling and dealing. Here comes Laurier to the inside off of turn 4. Drag race for the lead, a pair of Chevelles. Side by side into 1. It's still Jim Zarin in the 1C. Now Andy Catellus in the 64 on the outside trying to get to that 2nd spot. And here comes Rick Walker in the 93X down low trying to make it 3 wide for 2nd. Lots of racing room here tonight on Dirt's Monster Half Mile. They're using every inch. Jim Zarin still leading in the 1C. The 11 of Pete Laurier has his hands full in 2nd. 64 Andy Catellus alongside on the outside. And Wachter again goes to the inside in the 93X, running 5th, the 16 of John Pontickvar. It's still Zarin. Andy Catellus now, and the 64 takes over the 2nd position. Jim Zarin has himself some daylight in the 1C with all the racing going on behind him. The Cochran West Prestigious Homes 1C, your leader. 10 laps to go. Catellus 2nd. 11 Pete Laurier and 93 Rick Wachter side by side for 3rd, running 5th again now. The 55 of Wee Willie White as they continue to swap that spot. Race for 3rd, still side by side. Rick Wachter 93X and 11. Pete Laurier. Laurier holds him off into turn 3. Wachter the quicker car through the corners in the 93X on the inside. Jim Zarin shows the way in that Prestigious Homes Cochran number 1 Chevelle. Andy Catellus in the 64 2nd. Jim Zarin in his third year as a driver. Now starting to string out back through the field. Sadowski in the 57, about to go a lap down. We're halfway, 7 laps remaining. Sadowski pitting in car 57. Rick Walker's taken over third now in the 93X with Pete Loreen 11th, 4th, Willie White 5th, John Ponigbar 6th, Tom Baldy 7th, Bob Heim 8th, Ralph Hollisong 9th, and Bill Slade 10th that time by. 5 more laps to go. Lap 10 being completed, 5 to go. Into 3, Catellus in the 64 and Walker to the 93X seem to be making up a bit of ground on Jim Zarin, your race leader, with their side-by-side for second. Catellus and Walker trying to mount a late race charge. Jim Zarin's been your leader from the start. 3 to go. The white and the checkered are waving. Jim Zarin looking for that win. The guys behind him have had a bunch of them. Andy Catellus in the 64 and Rick Walker the 93X. Pete Loreen 11-0 by himself 4th. Wee Willie White in the 55 5th. Zarin's lead is down to about 2 car lengths. The white flag will be waving this time. 1 lap to go. The chase is on to the checkered flag. Into 1. Catellus closing in within a car length. Off of 2, Zarin opens up some daylight. Into turn number 3. The checkered flag is waving as they come to turn 4. Things are tight. It'll be the Cochran West Prestigious Homes 1C of Jim Zarin winning. Catellus 2nd, Walker 3rd, Pete Loreen 11th, 4th. Wee Willie White 5th in car 55. Willie White 5th. Rounding out the top 10 in 6th, the 16 of John Ponigbar, the 10 of Jeff Broniszewski 7th, 37 Tom Baldy 8th, 92 Bob Heim 9th, and the 09 of Ralph Hollisong Jr. completes the top 10. A lot of happy folks. They were almost ready to jump out of the bleachers, his cheering section. They all get excited when Jimmy's on the racetrack. Career feature win number 1. Third-year driver. Number 1 Cochran West, Balea Oil, Prestigious Homes, sponsors of the Chevelle.
We definitely got some happy people down here in Victory Lane.
Aaron. Jeff Broniszewski in car 10 is your hard charger. Started 19th and finished 7th, improving 12 places. The 10 of Jeff Broniszewski, your Monarch Oil Wolf's Head hard charger. Jimmy picking up a trophy from the folks at Pizza Hut who've been sponsoring the races and the bike races tonight. We sure appreciate their support in 93 at Pittsburgh. Remember your local Pizza Hut.
I want to talk to you for a minute here. I understand tonight's you've known him for a long time.
Oh yeah, I've known Jimmy for about, since he was about 8, 9 years old. Went hunting with him when he was 12 years old. He's a good kid. He definitely deserves a win tonight. Kid's been working hard, and I've known his grandfather for probably 25, 30 years. There's his grandfather.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey. He never did this before. Come on.
He's definitely never done this before, and I had to come out and see him tonight because this guy, I knew him when he was 12 years old. Went hunting with him. Here's his grandfather. He's the brightest guy in the whole wide world, and I had to come out and see him here. But it was even better when Lynn wins. I'll tell you what, he definitely did a heck of a job tonight. Had the car right, and it was right up there, and he did a good job.
Jim, here's how it works. After you win, you kiss the pretty girls, you get the pictures, then you come over here. Now, you got that scenario right?
First time for this.
I talked to you after the heat race. You were real pleased with the car. Was that a confidence builder?
Yeah, it felt real good. I didn't know if we were going to hang in there or not, but I did it.
Did you realize that Andy Catellus and Rich Wachter were on you like a new suit?
I didn't know anybody was back there. I was just trying to hold the lead, and it turned out that way.
Last lap, coming around for the white flag. Did you start hearing noises? Were you being cautious? What'd you do?
I just kept my cool, and I held it in there. I didn't get excited yet. I didn't know what was going to happen. There's still one more lap.
You did a nice job. Now, this number and this logo wins a lot of races. Maybe this is the start of a second generation of number 1 Cochran in Victory Lane.
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dow?
Thank you, Don. Congratulations, Jim Zarin. It's always sweet to get that first one. Career win number 1 here tonight. Number 1 Cochran, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, Grand Am, headed pit side. We're ready for our 15-lap hump modified feature event. Green is out. As they head off into turn 1, Mark Obrzezinski grabs the lead from his pole in car 61. Chris Dixon in the 37 second. Swinging Sammy Stow wheels the 75X to third. Then it's the 36 of Tanwick and the 75 of Kurt Habadell goes in hard on the outside. Off of 4. Oh, car blowing the motor. Dave Sheriff in car 88. Problems in the Route 88 Auto Parts. 88 Dave Sheriff coasting in turn 2. Now crosses the racetrack, but I don't think he has enough steam to get her to the pits. Maybe so. Let's see. He's down the back straightaway coasting along. Mark Obrzezinski is her leader as they head into turn 1. Sheriff in the 88 trying to get that car to the pits. 37 Chris Dixon challenging for the lead. Right behind him the 75X of swinging Sammy Stow. Dave Sheriff makes it to the pits. Green stays out. 3 cars battling for the lead. It's Chris Dixon, your new leader in car 37. Look who's running fourth. Jim Dandy Jr. Started 12th, already 4th. Bernie Potanowick is 5th in car 36. Habadell in the 75 6th. And it's Darren Miller, Dave McManus, Dale Charlier, Jimmy Plants, Don Luffy, and Fred Varney. Swinging Sam Stout to second in car 75X. 11 laps to go. Jim Dandy Jr. takes over third in car 19. Off the fourth turn, it's still Chris Dixon in car 37 out of Marietta, Ohio, showing the way. Sammy Stout is 75, trying to hold off the 19 of Jim Dandy Jr. Dandy drops to the inside off of turn 2, down the back straightaway. He and Sammy Stout side by side for second, entering turn 3. Whoa, Stout gets out of shape, up high out of the groove. Dandy takes over second. Stout to third down, the 75X. Oberzinski in the 61 fourth. Potanowick in the 36 still fifth. Here comes Jim Dandy Jr. He's got that Mopar cranked up and closing in on Chris Dixon, 37. Kurt Havedel moves to fifth in car 75. Side by side for the lead in turn 4. It's still Chris Dixon showing the way with Jim Dandy Jr. second. Dandy will run the top groove into turn 1. He's alongside of Dixon another time in turn 2. Off at 2 down the back straightaway. Jim Dandy Jr. is your leader. Started 12th, took him 7.5 laps to get to the front. In the Marsh Auto Salvage Outlaw Chassis 19, Chris Dixon won't let him get away just yet. 7 laps to go. Sammy Stout, 75X still third. Mark Oberzinski in the 61 fourth. Kurt Havedel in the Kodak Gold 75 runs fifth. Jim Dandy Jr. still your leader. Chris Dixon still second. Sammy Stout third. Mark Oberzinski in the 61 fourth. And Kurt Havedel runs fifth. Lap traffic in front of your race leader as he enters turn 3. Jim Dandy Jr. becomes the outside car. Don Luffy in the 42 and Fred Varney in the 43 going a lap down. 4 laps to the finish. 4 laps to go. Kurt Havedel in car 75 now trying to take fourth away from Mark Oberzinski 61 as they enter turn 3. 1 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Havedel makes the pass. He's now fourth. Jim Dandy Jr. continues to stretch the lead as we head to the 13th lap mark. Two laps to go, 2 to go. Chris Dixon second. Sammy Stout third. Kurt Havedel running fourth. And Mark Oberzinski fifth. Potanowick is 6th, Charlier 7th, McManus 8th, Plants 9th, and Miller runs 10th. All still on the lead lap. The white flag's out, final lap. It's time to dance pretty soon. Down the back straightaway. Headed for his 8th win of this year here at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Win number 8 in the Ump Modifieds for Niles, Ohio's Jim Dandy Jr. Chris Dixon second, swinging Sammy Stout third, Kurt Havedel fourth, and Mark Oberzinski completes your top 5. Jim Dandy Jr. also picking up the hard charger honors, the Monarch Oil Wolf's Head hard charger. So you know what that means. It's time.
Rescue! Jim Dandy, rescue! Go, Jim Dandy! Go, Jim Dandy!
righty, put your hands together for your modified feature winner out of Niles, Ohio. 8th time this year, Jim Dandy Jr.
Get down into the rescue.
You're right, Don. He told me before Jim Dandy's been here 9 times, 8 wins in 1 second. Not a bad batting average. Let's get his thoughts.
Not too bad. You're 8 for 9. This Chrysler just keeps on running. Why isn't anyone else doing Chrysler?
I don't know. I'm glad they're not. Well, I might have some competition then.
But you got a head start. We got to tell them for years and years you ran Chrysler, so this isn't your first night at the dance.
Oh no, my first car when I was 16 was a Dodge, and every one I've owned since then has been a Dodge, and every car I've ever raced has been a Dodge, except last year we had a Chevrolet, but we went back to the Mopar.
Kind of hurt you to say that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Let's talk about your guys. This doesn't happen by accident. Who helped you out with the car?
Oh, Tom and Tom's their names. Tom Sock, he builds the engines right there in his little 20 by 20 garage, and I don't know what else I can say about it. And old Tom Caldwell here, his mom and dad are up there somewhere. We're supposed to say hi.
How many wins do you have so far?
I think that's 14 altogether, 14.
Come on up there. Tom, where you at? Tell us a little bit about this motor. Have you been involved with Chrysler products the whole time, or are you new this year?
No, I've been involved all along.
All them pure stock wins, they were yours?
In the Chrysler, yeah.
You guys are doing a heck of a job. You're to be commended. You're swimming upstream and you're kicking butt on the way. Congratulations on another win.
Thank you.
Okay, Dow.
All right, Don, and congratulations to Jim Dandy Jr., all our winners and competitors and the bike racers.